So here we are, Komala and Osk, different places in the world on our globe, different processes going on. Very beautiful. I'm very thankful to have you to come share a little bit of one of the chapters. It's a great support for me and the whole birthing of this happening. So if you would like to start by introducing yourselves and who you are, and maybe your first reflection on looking at a piece of the book. Who would like to start?
I can start.
Yeah.
I'm Komala Lera. I am right now in Greece, in Samothraki, a very beautiful island, in the midst of a long-term training. I was born in Brazil, but I lived everywhere and don't really belong anywhere. Most of my life I lived in Europe and in America. My life has been a life of inquire into what is love and what is aliveness. So my background has been, I've been working with people in different configurations of groups and using different skills, different tools. Also have written a few books, and it's all in the same direction, finding and connecting with people and the way that we uncover all the layers of distortions that different conditioners have put on top of cultural, political, religious, whatever, and finding what's natural, what is spontaneous, what is simply being alive and being present with each moment. So I look at your book, and the chapter that I read was a chapter about celebration of the little things. And for me, my background also has been of many, many years living with Osho in a community where celebration was fundamental, and sexuality as a naturalness of our expression of life force was what really fueled a lot of the creativity that we nurtured during all these years. So celebration was like ingrained in my life, and realizing when I work with people how easy it is to complain or talk about dramatic things, but as soon as someone is happy and juicy, like, oh, something must not be right to that person, or maybe they drank something. So the naturalness and the spontaneity of the little joys of life seem to be a major thing nowadays to rediscover. When, you know, like when you go to, I travel a lot, so in different countries, especially countries like India, Thailand, Bali, South America, where there's more simplicity. So for me, the appreciation for the daily life, for the simple things, is very, very fundamental. And reporting that to relating and sexuality, it's also like a big shift to recognize that the erotic connection can be almost everywhere, every day. It's not about creating something spectacular or recreating something that happened one time, and it's about being present with each other. It's about caring. It's about being loving. It's about appreciating life as it comes. So I enjoyed very much the simplicity of your sharing, and looking forward to read. And I feel this will be so supportive to many people, because it doesn't, you don't need to go to 10 tantra trainings or to, do anything very spectacular. It's just waking up to the simplicity and to the beauty of life every day. So.
Wow, that's a beautiful beginning. That's fantastic. Wise words. Oh,
thank you.
Yes, I'd love to. We will share more. Great. Thank you, Osk.
Yes, thank you, Matilda, for inviting me, and really a pleasure to listen to you, Komala. My name is Guðbjörg Ósk Fredriksdóttir, and I know it's difficult to pronounce that long name like many other Icelandic names, but I'm from Iceland, yes. And I am now staying in Iceland, but normally I'm traveling a lot, staying mostly in Bali, Australia, South America, and many more this year. So I'm very glad to be here because it brought me to this occasion, Matilda, to meet up with you and to come to know what you're doing, which is really amazing, I think. We've been opening up so much up to this concept of talking more about sexuality and what sex is. So I think also this is one of the beauties that we need into this conversation that is going on around in the world, which has been more about the negative and dark aspects of the sexuality and what is happening in and with the sex in the last years that we've been opening up with it. So I'm really proud and happy to be in this chapter with you, chapter 15, I think.
Chapter sharing hero.
Yeah. This celebration, I remember when yesterday or 2 days ago when I read that the chapter was about celebration and bubbles in the bathtub, I was like, oh my God, how could she really know that this is one of my favorite topics about the joy and celebration of life. And of course, since I'm working with the love, the how we love ourselves, it resonated so much with me. And I was just a big, huge, deep smile all the time when I was reading this chapter. And what I liked so much about it is that because I think we tend to forget about the beauty of love and sex in the relationship, long-term relationships, I was thinking how necessary it is to celebrate it more and to emphasize more on that, how important it is for the two persons in relationship to celebrate each other, the body, the environment, and everything. So I love this idea for many people to come to think about how beautiful it is. I can imagine you. I have never seen your husband, but I can imagine you sitting in the bathtub and having this wonderful, beautiful time. And that is what made me curious. I'm really curious about people. And that's why I was so happy to be invited to participate, because it brought some curiosity to me to listen to and to know more about what is it to have a daily sex in a relationship that has been going on for such a long time as yours and David. And I was thinking, I think we have to take more and deeper look at where are we going with this part of the relationship in the nowadays life, because people, I think they don't have time for the intimacy, and this is the first thing that people allow to slip, to skip, to not have time for.
Yes.
So
we will talk more about it. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I hear many super duper cool questions, which we will share more about in just a little bit. So thank you both for this introduction. Thank you, Osk, for all your questions. We will take them in the longer sharing in a little bit. So thank you very much for this part. So we're going to share around the chapter that is called number 15, Celebrate Thursdays. Celebration and what kind of tool that is. And you already brought up, Osk, several questions. So we could start with we start somewhere. What did this chapter kind of awaken for you? Where should we start?
Well, I think the first thing is how the culture that we're living in and the speed that we're living in is oriented towards the future and towards you have to do something today or tomorrow, but later, not right now. And celebration is about present time. It's about the recognition of the moment, and it's about the simplicity of just being there with whatever that is, and gratefulness. So that's something that is missing. And what people call celebration is often not a celebration. It's kind of an imaginary joy. Usually is fake and is usually supported by drugs or something else, which is nothing wrong with it, but misses the intimacy of being present to each other. So the simplicity of that celebration of being present with each other, which is like you don't need anything, just need you and your aliveness and your breath. It's such an enrichment that money cannot buy. So in this moment where so many people were locked home, I had such a wonderful time. 4 months, I went out 3 times. I was with one person. And I heard from so many people that had such a hard time with their husband, wife, girlfriends, kids, that they never spend that much time together trying what are we going to do? And it's not about doing. It was such an opportunity to just be there, wake up. Oh, wow, what a beautiful day. Yeah, I was privileged to be in a beautiful place, but I know that even in a small, ugly place, there is that recognition of life being this in my being. So it's a beautiful invitation.
Yes, I also connect with that. When we sense presence, when we are present, then we're kind of free in a way. Our heart is free, our mind is free. It's like a freedom in that. And the amazing thing is that we don't need anyone else at all to celebrate with either. We can celebrate by ourselves the moment. What a joy that is. What an access that is.
I would like to add to that because I've been very much alone last couple of years, not alone entirely, but away from my family. And I realized in these days that we've been going through now, how much we miss the intimacy of our people when we don't have the freedom to get to see them whenever we want to. And that is also a way to understand the depth of the celebration, to celebrate all the people I have in my life. It was easier for me to know how much I care for them and celebrate that I have all these people when I was away. So in your chapter, sitting in the bathtub and celebrating each other is also maybe something that shows us you don't need anything else. That, as you say, each other and a moment, and celebrate it instead of whatever else you could make of this moment.
Yeah. To me, when we talk also, I reflect to that, to bring, like you say, Komala, presence and appreciation to the now. It's like a tool to lift us up, to lift our spirit. So to celebrate is actually like a tool. It's like a tool for transformation. It's a tool for happiness and well-being, and yeah. How cool is that? It doesn't have to be hard. We have to celebrate more.
Yeah. I totally agree with you that we could use this this feeling that the celebration brings up. We could use it more. We use more talking about being thankful and joyful and happy, but we don't talk about a celebration inside of me. So, but we could do that more. And recognize the feeling and be more aware of this feeling. How does it arise, and how can I make it arise, and yeah, how can I be more in this state, which is really bubbling. I'm going to use that word.
Yeah, and you know, when my kind of journey started with this activity of sexuality daily, I had no idea it was possible to live in a bubbly body every day. I had no idea that existed. That's kind of the aim of the book. I have to tell it's possible to live like a bottle of champagne, you know, inside every day. You know, I had no idea, and I think most people don't, you know, get that. You know, it's for me. It has been like a journey of. That's what I'm trying to give away in the book. How that has happened to my body, because it's very possible to all bodies, is what I think.
I agree with you. The other day I was interviewed somewhere and they were asking me about advice for pause and getting older. And I said, I cannot give advice because there was people having issues and depression. And I said, I can't give an advice to older people that already have so many issues accumulated. What I can give is invitation to the younger people, because that's how my life was, to live fully since you're young. Because when you get older, you get what you lived before. So I never had any issues with menopause, with any issues related to any of so-called getting old so far. And obviously I have wrinkles and white hair, and but my body is so alive, and it's not so far getting less alive just because the years are passing. It's getting actually more a sense of freedom and this capacity to celebrate little things. So the person that interviewed me was a bit disappointed because it was waiting for advices and recipes. I said, well, recipes, you start early. You start enjoying your life early, because then, it's an accumulation of the joys that you have in life that it gets imprinted in your memory body that, yeah, that is possible. And there's no reason why you get less.
Yes.
But obviously, yeah.
And probably like having the body as open as you can, like you say, enjoying life. I want to connect it to, if our bodies are kind of open to our sexual energy or to just life energy, anything, then age, I don't think age closes energy. That's
Exactly.
like a ridiculous funny thing in a way. It's our energy are possible to have open, as long as we live.
Yeah, that's my feeling too.
Yeah.
And I have an example of my family that I'm very grateful to, because there is no concept of aging in the lineage that I come from people getting more debilitated or anything. They just die at 100 and something because one day they're sleeping and they don't come back.
Yeah.
I don't have much of that conditioning either, which does help because I don't have it in my psychic. Most of anything is this connection with daily life being an unfolding and appreciation for everything that comes.
That's very beautiful words, that life is an unfolding and it's possible to appreciate, the moment.
Not that it's always fantastic and great, beautiful and perfect, but when you feel the unfolding, and same thing with allowing arrows to move, life force to move through, the idea of sexuality being kind of like every explosion. It's a door, a portal for me. Is a portal for a surrender to life. Is a portal for my intimacy with life through someone else, which is again a gratefulness for serving that person. So for me, this is the I don't like to talk about higher, but the most refined gift of sharing sexuality, sharing erotic connection with someone, is being a portal to each other, to a deeper level of surrender to life.
Oh, can you say that? Can you say that again? Because it's so like juicy words.
I feel that sharing eros, sharing sexuality, sharing life force with someone else in a conscious way is it brings the gratefulness and brings the recognition that we're being portals to each other. So it's not like I want something from you that I don't have, but we are opening each other to life, and more consciously we are, more available we are to each other, more available we are to life. That's my experience also with long-term relating and having sexuality being that portal that maintain a connection and keeps reminding me of letting life move through me and keep allowing certain things to move through that could be in the emotional body, could be in the mind, as like, and okay, if I'm allowing the openness, that goes like washes with the river, and it stays, and it's something that stays with you alone or together, it doesn't matter.
Amazing description of that we're open up, we're portals for each other. Wow, that's very beautiful. You want to connect in some way, Osk?
Yeah, what I hear is that maybe without this connection there is no life. We with the connection in the intimacy, we are bringing forth, and we are allowing each other to have all the emotions, to discover all the emotions we can feel, because we can't have all the pleasurable feelings, I think, without having the intimacy, the sex. I think we can't discover these feelings anywhere else. And I think they bring us deeper into ourselves, into our beauty and awareness of being a earthling now, of being in this body. So it's really amazing. And again, it's almost necessary, or I would like to say we should celebrate it. We should celebrate this connection and having an opportunity to get to know myself, to get to know myself through this action, through this love, through these emotions. Yeah, that is what I think of. Yeah,
I think it's so amazing that pleasure is our homework. You know, that you know, allowing eros to flow and be in pleasure. Also, what I had no idea is that the capacity my body has to experience pleasure is growing. You know, it's growing. It's like, can I be longer? Can I be longer? Can I be longer? Like in a state of bliss. I had no idea that it was possible to expand my being into allowing me to experience more pleasure for a longer time, different kinds. Woo!
Yeah, I understand that. So many times that we are on the word, on the verge of, I can't go deeper, I can't feel more, I can't have more of this. But then we go over it, and we open up a new dimension of feeling even better, or something, maybe not better, but deeper or stronger. So yeah, it's amazing.
I have a question, Komala. How I first found Ista, then I found the armoring, then I found tantric massage training. So it was like first came that I can find the contractions in my body, and I can like.
You froze, so I didn't hear your question. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. First, I found the armoring, and I kind of understood that you can go like through pain into kind of transformation and let go. And that's really beautiful and important in a way to do that. And then I found tantric massage training, and all of a sudden, the pleasure is the way into the transformation. With your experience, does it all have to hurt? Can pleasure be the way?
In my growing, or moving through life, I had a lot of training in body work, body work, rolfing, which is also painful. What I realized that more than anything is just deepening the trust in life that really opens the body. And each person has a different path. For me, being in nature was one, because I grew up in Brazil, very free, very naked. And so I always, when I started having situations where repression was there, I just like, no, that's not how it is, because I know my body. And I know that I can feel this. So I didn't buy into certain things that most people buy, because I had that experience as a child to be very free. My father was a lot about freedom physically, having horses and swimming and being very much in touch with nature and with my own body. My grandparents used to give me massages. So my body, it was always the connection with my body was cultivated since a child from both my parents. So when some kind of ideas came that this shouldn't be good, it was like, no, I don't buy those ideas. So there was the fighting for a connection with the body that was pleasurable and knew pleasure and knew the spontaneity of being connected with nature. And then, of course, you observe conditioning, and there was the fight with the conditioning. When I started learning body work, the going through the muscles and opening, which is anyway the same thing. It's another name. The armoring is just like opening the fascia, opening the channels through the muscles and the structure of the body. There is a different layer that opened as kind of a remembering, oh, that's how it was, the naturalness of my body. So I didn't have much pain through those processes, which are usually painful for most people, maybe because I had this background of being more connected with nature. But I don't like rules, and I don't see that there is, everybody goes through this stage, that stage, that stage. I feel for different people is different. So some people needed a certain level of intensity and a certain level of opening through the physical body to come to the other side. Then I have a training as an Ayurveda doctor, practitioner, educator, and it's more about pleasure and more about bringing the memory of the fluidity of the body through the practices. And it doesn't involve pain. And openings are awesome. And for me, this is the language and the skills that I feel, okay, this brings everything together. And when you are in India, I lived in India many years. It's still in many places, especially the simplest place, people still massage each other every day, you know, and this is still a practice to touch in a way that there is that safety, that pleasure is inherent to the body. And it doesn't need to be sexual, but it's the pleasure of that aliveness that comes from the heart and from the body that's erotic. So, and the whole tradition now, of course, there is other stories that are on top, but from that tradition also, pleasure was part of life, with touch, dance, with music, with the opening of all the senses. So I prefer nowadays to, for myself and with people, to move through the opening of the senses and through the flexibility and the pleasure than the pain to get there.
Wow, that's beautiful to hear your description of your journey, which, and I also love the appreciation of that. There is not one right journey. Everyone will probably have their own journey. And my sense is that it will become easier and easier in a way. It will be more and more pleasure. It's just my sensing. Yeah.
Well, we have a lot of the condition of religions that you need to suffer to get something, and I feel that's still strong. As this is hopefully dissolving as time moves us, maybe people will learn that pleasure is easy and is our nature.
Yes, yes. Oscar, you want to keep that ball reflecting?
I just feel like this has all in it, nothing to add or change in this. This was beautiful as it was. Thank you, Komala.
Thank you.
Any other like reflections on the book or the kind of style of writing or that it's happening or
Well, you know, people think that creativity is about some kind of skills and something that you have to learn, that to be a writer you have to, but I feel that the writing, and it's also my writing because I also speak many languages, so I write in a very kinesthetic way. I write from my feelings and from my body. And I felt that in your writing, that there is a very direct simplicity, and not like making castles with the words or trying to weave something that becomes more special just because 3 words together make. No, it's very direct and it's very beautiful because of that. And I feel we can reach people in that they see that you're not any person that you know they need to become special to be able to feel or to be able to relate to you.
How wonderful to hear that, because it's really who I am. I like to take away all the garnish, or you know, like I like to I like this. We don't have time for anything else. I'm here to kind of support evolution the best I can. We want to kind of be as effective as we can without like putting anything in between. So I like that is heard in the language kind of. And also I started to write, I didn't know if it was being able to read it for anyone. It's like I want to say it in this way. I have no idea how it's kind of, but so it makes me happy to hear that it's readable.
Very readable and very direct, very beautiful.
Yeah, I would like to say that I felt like I was sitting in your mind and listening to you, contemplating on what was going on, kind of I'm trying to understand, and I'm also trying just to let go of it and allow it to be. And I felt like this is how we think. This is maybe not how we would talk it, but so it was like sitting in with you somehow. And I thought this is really a interesting way of conversation.
beautiful. And the amazing thing is also that I've tried to grasp kind of what part can I share that makes the rhythm I live available for someone. And I've grasped one piece. Yeah, let's write about that. We sit in the bathtub and celebrate, you know, and then you know, I just write, and it's not changed. I don't go in and change it afterward. It's just, this is the chapter. And this also amazes me now afterwards, that you know, yeah, it kind of amazes me that that's the process. Yeah. We will start to like wrap our sharing together a little bit, to conclude or to reflect in the end. Any last words or thoughts about what we have shared about, or some other pieces that wants to come in?
Well, I'm going to say something that could be for the next 5 hours if we start, but I just put it in the table.
Yes.
Which is between what most people are facing nowadays, this fear of death, and how sexuality, if you really leave the fullness, the full potential of what it is to share, the surrender to life through sexuality, makes you acquainted with death, because it is an opening to the portal of infinity, and this feeling that life is being completed at each moment. And it is really shocking to see how many people are so afraid of nothing and manage to be convinced by nothing, that something, that they could die. Someone asked me, but you're taking so many risks, is what you're doing now, and aren't you afraid? You're in the risk, whatever age. And I said, if I die happy doing what I love, come life, come death, you know. So I don't want to die locked in an apartment wearing a mask, you know, out of fear. And of course there is care, there is intelligence, there is things, you know, I don't want to be political, discuss anything. But this point where the talk about this layer of being open to life through releasing life force every day as dying every day is, I feel, the grounding for the next level of how the planet could live more vibrantly.
Yeah, I connect to this too, because like orgasmic flow or this merge, in a way it's a death. It's a death every time, is how I would, maybe it's the ego dying away, you know, more and more and more. I don't know how we would describe it, but in a way it's some cleansing or cleaning or dying, or it's something. Yeah, I connect to that too.
If I were to connect this with the end, whether we call it a dying or something else, I would think like the book gives me the opportunity to think what would be the last thing I would like to be doing before I leave. Then would it be celebrating the life I've had, feeling my body with all the senses it has given me, and having maybe a moment of intimacy or sex, or would it be something else? Because I think everything is in it. I mean, what we want in life is almost everything in it. So it's so complete. And yeah. So I would guess, even though I've only read one chapter, that the book is giving me the opportunity to recognize, to appreciate, and to celebrate this part of me, the part that we very often feel shamed about and feel that there are so many conditions. I'm not supposed to be like this, and I'm not supposed to allow myself to do this. And yeah, I believe this book will give me the more allowance to open up more for what is allowed and what is this is beautiful.
Those are great closing words. And we can connect it with where we started off, by being present to the beauty in the moment. Yeah, and possibly expand that experience over the day just a little bit more, to be a little bit more present, to be a little bit more appreciative to just the now. Then mission is completely complete with with everything about the book.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And sharing and everything. Yeah, see you soon again. Thank you both very much.